Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome to this afternoon sessions. As said, my name is Olaf Grimm. I'm from Siemens. The full Christian name of the company is Siemens Enterprise Communication. That's because we are part of Siemens. We have part of Siemens. We take care about enterprises and communications. Communications is our passion. So what I would like to talk about for today is how can you bring communication, how can you bring collaboration right in your Liferay portal. And there's one use case I would like to start about, that is collaboration itself. You know, yesterday we have learned about that time has a kind of relative character. We have seen today is the second Tuesday. I would like to continue to give it a try to continue this day, since I would like to show you something from today, and I would like you also to follow me for tomorrow. When you are doing a Liferay portal installation on your customer side, when you're providing that portal mechanisms to your employees, do you know, are you aware what are you doing with that step? I'm pretty sure you are. You're bringing knowledge to the people. You are connecting documents with users. You are having information exchange on a personal level. You're modeling teams. You're providing a workspace for project members. That's what we can also use peoples. Everything you have on the portal with the know-how you're modeling is about people. How people can work together in teams, in workforces, in their task forces. And within working together with the team constellations, they need to exchange information. Sometimes they need to exchange informations very, very rapidly, instantaneous. So what I'm going to show you with our first use case, collaboration, is about a scenario where we have people exchanging information. That example is a simple Liferay portal we have set up from scratch in doing continue, continue, finish. Nothing special about of that one, but the use case we have implemented for that portal. Mr. Tony Meyer is our protagonist for this use case. He first of all is signing in that use case. What's following now is a kind of slow motion movie. We're adding a few slides. You know, 20 slides a second makes up a movie. I don't want to keep that speed as well. But follow the scenario of Tony Meyer. He's going to log in his Liferay portal, entering his top secret credentials, is going to sign in the portal, and in this scenario we know that's going to succeed. One simple thing is now different from the Liferay portal you might already know. And that thing which is different is this levitating toolbar. You can move it around, you can minimize it. What's about this toolbar? Of course, it is about collaboration. What is inside it, we will stick it to the use case behind. To come to the use case, let's imagine Mr. Tony Meyer needs to work on some documents. Maybe he's involved in a project, has some spreadsheets to fill out, whatever. He's addressing that information inside his pages. For the ease of use, we have modeled that use case in the private pages of Mr. Tony Meyer. Within his private pages, we see his contacts. We have Robert Taylor over here, we have Alan Socrates, and we have his folders with the documents. Inside his folders, he can navigate to this document, find the details about the document, maybe open the document for editing. So imagine Tony Meyer is now editing in his document and is reviewing it, and at some point in time, he gets stuck in his work. Okay, he could send an email to the colleagues, but we are already one step before that slow motion of communication. Since you have already modeled the relationships, Tony Meyer is working together with Robert Taylor and Alan Socrates. Those are the experts that can join him in his task of completing the document. So in order to do so, Tony is going to select his colleagues. And now the importance of our utmost levitating toolbar jumps into the game. With a single click on an icon that looks a little bit like an Earth globe, he is starting a collaboration session. When hitting on this icon, two things happen in parallel. On the left-hand side, a collaboration menu opens. A collaboration client opens, allowing Tony Meyer to control the entire session. The second thing that happens is an invite email is created and prepared, addressed to our colleagues, Tony and Alan. I'm sorry, Mr. Robert Taylor, of course, and Alan Socrates. Within that invite, we have prepared links to join that collaboration session. So after receiving that invite email, the colleagues of Tony Meyer are clicking on the links and they are now in the session of web collaboration. Within that session, Tony Meyer is aware of the colleagues that are in that session. He can select who is sharing his screen. If he would like that Alan Socrates is contributing the work, he can hand over the control to her desktop so she can type in and make correction to the document. So the basic idea of web collaboration is share information. Not necessarily presentation, calculation, documents, that can also be the project plans, but the basic idea is do it instantaneously. Do not spend time on a schedule to get the colleagues together. See instantaneously that all the relevant members of your project team gets to one desk working on that document. Within working of the documents, we have different methods to do so. Maybe Alan Socrates is pointing out a very interesting part of the document to draw the attention of Tony Meyer to. Or Tony is going to switch on his video to share the people his own video image in order to bring them a little bit closer together, even if they are miles apart. Or they can use built-in audio facilities, which is just a plug-in of a headset of your computer, to have a real collaboration session with the audio conferencing features built inside. The features of those audio conferencing, of those video conferencing, of those file share things that are customizable. So if we see that a company, that an integrator thinks, oh, giving 100% is too much, we can of course reduce the content on a customizable level. Realization task. How it was possible to bring this little checkbox with a levitating toolbar into a Liferay portal. It was done this way. Imagine you have your PC-based workplace. There you have the browser rendering the user interface, doing the HTML code, the JavaScript stuff and all that things. We are having our Liferay portal on the upper right corner, and within that Liferay portal we are building in a servlet container to put our own user interface elements, to put in that little Earth globe over there, to realize the checkboxes. Within that portal container, we also implemented the hook to allow us identify screen positions where to put those elements into. So after the user has checked, unchecked, whatever, the people he would like to have in a collaboration session, and by the way, he can do that spreading the pages. We're using a small cookie that helps us make selection persistent in order to allow modeling of the pages more complex. So after selecting the people, he hits the button, launch me the conference, and what's happening next is that little hook in here requests a session room number. That session room number is relevant since our web collaboration server is able to host multiple sessions in parallel. To identify the correct session room, of course, we need the room number. With that room number, we can prepare the invite, we can launch that collaboration client and get the people into the session. For getting this hook into here and the user elements, I would like to say thank you to Liferay, especially to the colleagues in Hungary that assisted us very well and pushed us in the correct direction in order to do so. When realizing the first implementations of that one, we also realized, especially in hosted scenarios, that our firewall is going to work, since initially the port has been blocked. So after sending the invite, the people participating the collaboration session, they have more or less 3 options to do so. Maybe they would like to do it PC-based, on a Mac OS PC or Windows PC. Maybe they would like to do it pure browser-based without 0 installation. They have to care about nothing. Or with an application available on Android store, on the iOS, they can follow the web collaboration, including video, on iOS or Android-based tablets. What is required for that one? Currently our hook is built for the version 6.1. It works as well as in the community, as well as in the enterprise edition of Liferay. We have a few tested browsers. We cannot exclude that it's working with other browsers and other browsers version as well, but those are the browser versions we have tested. And the integration components are using the standard Liferay hook portal mechanisms and our web collaboration services. The web collaboration services could be either co-located, put it on the side of the customer, or rent the service via the internet. We would like to get this portal hook, that's our goal, to put that one in the Android market. We are not quite there, but that's our goal to do so. And those OpenScape collaboration services can also be ordered for a certain period of time free of any charge. So an interested one can get familiar with that one and see, am I going in the right direction with collaboration services? Your business value, let me keep that very, very short. This is not a marketing session. You know Liferay as the leader in enterprise portals, as a leader in social collaboration. When comparing Liferay with other portal manufacturers, it's our impression they are miles apart. They are years apart from other manufacturers. They have a real great advantage. Not ourselves, but also Gartner and other institutes see us as a leader in real-time communication and collaborations. So the idea, bringing both together, is the idea to bring collaboration and communication means directly in front of the end user. You know, 80 years ago, you have just a telephone. Communication means communication media increases. You are adding instant messaging, you are adding email, you are adding conferences, you are adding collaboration sessions, you are adding document storages. You are adding also devices. Nobody is just sitting in his office for a PC. They have the mobile business, they have home office, they are on their way, they have to check their emails wherever they are. So when we put all these communication means together in one user interface, bring it to the customer and say to our customer, dear Mr. Customer, say hello to the 25th icon on your desktop. They do not welcome it, because they have so much application they are working every day with. So the idea is, bring those communication means that are relevant for the employee directly into that mechanism he's using every day. That could be a groupware system, that could be an ordering tool, and that could be a Liferay portal. So the employee has no need to get used to another user interface. They are just little things being added. He does not need to change the context he is working in. And therefore the acceptance of added communication and collaboration media is increasing. The need of your help desk is decreasing since the change is comparatively little. How can you realize bringing communication, bringing collaboration in general in your Liferay portal? That's more or less a generic approach and also a cyclic approach. If you go to the end, you can draw a theoretical loop in the beginning. So what's going on the first step? Our recommendation: start with a limited number of users, take a small user group, plan a pilot. Try out the features and identify, oh, that's a great thing, there we have already a value add. In the next step, it's our highly recommendation to get those people together, working with that pilot, and really ask them, what is the good thing? Are we addressing the right pages? Are we offering the right features? Is there any page where we over-technologize those things, where we put too much into that page? Based on that feedback workshop, you may have to change the installation, may have to change the layout, or may have to add things that are missing. And after finishing that step, utilize your collaboration features right in the scope of the Liferay portal. If you have finished with that part, of course, you can start again with next features. That theory, doing the stepwise, is also called, how can you eat an elephant? It's only slice by slice. You can't manage to do it on one gulp. When we are talking about communication and collaborations, so putting a checkbox and a levitating toolbar in a Liferay portal, is that all we can do? No, of course not. And actually, we started with a big solution, and we have a preview on that one, the latest CeBIT in the beginning of this year. Since we would like to have the proof for our own, it's working. If you are starting with a proof of concept small and you are growing with it, you can identify hurdles that are not working, that you cannot overcome. If you are starting with a big scenario, with a lot of communication means you are feeding into your Liferay portal, you are realizing, okay, it does not work at that point and that point, but we can manage that topics. And now can reduce it and offer the collaboration at the first step. But let's have a look for tomorrow. What could be next? On an architectural perspective, what must we do in order to put more things right into that portal? We have talked about this little hook over here that allows us to render some user interface elements, that keeps together the session room and provides us the collaboration mechanisms in launching the conferences. What we are doing with that one is we split it apart. We split it in two pieces. One piece is a very simple hook mechanism that is just a kind of proxy for information. And the part we're getting out of it, we are calling the Unified Communication Collaboration Integration Server. That server, please take it as the English term, is a collection of services. If we have a deployment, let's say with 1,000 users, that might be a single instance. If we're having a deployment with 15,000 users and we're adding additional announcements, voice recognition applications, or maybe there's a new document, please send me a short message on my mobile phone, which is also possible. Those integration server will be several appliances, not necessarily on a physical base. Virtualization is applicable as well. So with that UCC integration server, we are getting additional interconnectivity options. Interconnectivity options can be the groupware system, can be warehouse applications, can be legacy applications, or maybe, for example, your PBX system, a traditional phone system. In that connectivity, we hand over control via computer telephony integration, CTI, right over this UCC integration server. So that is a peak for tomorrow. How does tomorrow look like or can look like? We're having a same scenario or a similar scenario what we have seen with Tony getting his colleagues to a web collaboration session. So in this scenario, we're having Alan Socrates, and Alan Socrates is talking to Mark Cooper. Just a phone call, they are making some research in documents, they are looking for information, but they again get stuck somewhere in the process. They need the expertise of a colleague. What is the colleague that could help? You have done the first step. You have modeled the expertise by the knowledge you have implemented in the portal. The knowledge implemented in the portal is the project Alan is working in is comprised out of 4 people. We have Mark, we have Alan herself, we have Tony, we have Robert. So if Alan is now feeling that they get stuck in the work, they need the expertise of somebody else who could help with the expertise. The portal tells her, Mr. Robert Taylor is currently, based on his present status, not available at all. So what Alan can do is check for Tony Meyer. Tony Meyer is available, and hey, get Tony Meyer a call. So the Liferay portal, the knowledge you have modeled into that one, helps Ellen to get her work very, very quickly done. Since she finds the right person who contact and gets her in real time into the collaboration and the communication. The communication covers, that's our tradition of Siemens enterprise communication, that's our passion, where we can toggle the call, transfer the call, or even make a conference out of that one. And combine that one maybe with web collaboration means as well. In this scenario, if you sharpen your eyes, another thing is notable. Since in the beginning, let me switch 2 pages back, we see Socrates and Mark Cooper are currently in a call that is identified by a yellow hook. A yellow hook means in a call. A green hook means not in a call. And that could be irrelevant from the underlying PBX system. So using the right connectivity, that yellow hook works with every PBX. So beside those conferencing mechanisms, we can also add more static controls to it. You have seen there's a present status. A present status helps me to identify in my team who has the expertise and who is available for contact. We call that a static control because it is out of the context where you're working in. We are not in the context of a project page. We are not in the context of a document repository. We are in a context that is without a context. It could be everywhere. Therefore, a static control. One static control is select your own present status. With a present status, you tell your colleague, it's okay to reach me right now. No, I'm sorry, I'm in a meeting, or I'm short for a coffee break. I'll be right back. Another thing we can implement as a static control is, what is your phone you are talking with? What is the phone you are using for talking? That phone you are using for talking, we call that one the one-number service. If you go to your boss and ask your boss, how many phones do I own? It's at the maximum 1 or 2, maybe a desk phone and a mobile phone. If you ask yourself, how many phones do I use? There could be a meeting room, there could be a private mobile phone, there could be a home office phone, there could be a hotel phone, whatever. So this mechanism allows you to choose where you get incoming calls, and if you're doing outgoing calls, you're using the same phone and not the phone number itself, but the single one-number service printed off your business card is presented to your colleagues. So what is the idea of that one? As we have seen in bringing together Liferay mechanism as well as Siemens Enterprise Communications mechanisms, we are allowing the employees to use a single user interface. One single user interface. They do not have to switch the context and what they are working in, and they have all their communication means at hand. If you had the opportunity to follow yesterday's evening sessions or today morning session from Ed, where you have seen the calendar. There we have seen you can add some topics, you can add rooms, you can add people. I was thinking of why do not add collaboration features for virtual teams? Do people have to travel for a short meeting? Or can they meet in a virtual room by entering a single link? So I think the Liferay portal is a brilliant mechanism for modeling use cases, for bringing the right opportunities to the desktop. And communication means help you to speed up bringing people together in real time, in the means of audio, in the means of video, in the means of web collaborations, and in the means of any process integrations you can imagine. So also on behalf of my colleagues, also on behalf of our development crew, I would like to say thank you for your attention. And, well, what about questions?
I believe we have a few minutes for questions, so please go ahead. Yes?
When will this be available on Marketplace?
Thank you for that one. It's our hope to get it on the marketplace in the first quarter of the next year.
Any other questions, please?
You mentioned that it's currently, if you look at the portal, you don't see the availability of your colleagues who you want to collaborate with.
Yeah.
When is that functionality going to be available with the Liferay portal? Is it next year?
The thing we have seen over here.
Yes.
Well, we have presented that one as a prototype mechanism on CeBIT this year in February, so we are not that far away. So I guess when we have finished the ongoing implementations on the first step, which are currently ongoing, that one might be the next step. On the time frame, I'm not quite sure if we can realize that as well on the first quarter. We have to check for that one. But the basic technology, which is behind, thanks for your question, here we are. That's proven. That was working in our lab. Since this is a quite static presentation, it's just PowerPoint, next slide, next slide, next slide, I would like to invite you, if you would like to see a live demonstration, drop here your business card, we will get in contact with you and can arrange a 20-minute, 30-minute live presentation where we show you that stuff working live in our lab.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions?
Any other questions, please? Thank you very much, Mr. Grimm.
You're very welcome.